Repetition does not look dangerous. It looks harmless, routine, predictable, ordinary. But repetition is where most people break. Not under pressure, not during crisis, during monotony. The first time you try something, there is energy. Novelty carries you. The second time, there is still momentum. But by the 20th time, the excitement is gone. And now, you are alone with the process. No applause, no visible progress, no dramatic change. Just the same action again. This is where resistance begins. Not because the task is difficult, because it is boring. The ego wants stimulation. It wants visible growth. It wants rapid transformation. Repetition offers none of that. It offers incremental change. Incremental change feels invisible, and invisible progress feels like stagnation. So the mind starts negotiating. Maybe this isn't working. Maybe there's a better strategy. Maybe I need something new. But often, nothing is wrong. You are simply confronting the slow nature of mastery. Repetition removes illusion. It shows you how impatient you are, how dependent you are on novelty, how uncomfortable you are without constant stimulation. Most people don't quit because it's hard. They quit because it's repetitive. Hard moments can be dramatic. They make you feel heroic. But repetition feels mundane. There is no glory in doing the same thing correctly again. The mind craves variation. It associates change with growth. But growth often looks like sameness. The same workout, the same study session, the same disciplined routine, repeated. And each time you repeat without visible reward, your identity is tested. Are you someone who needs excitement, or someone who can endure monotony? Repetition exposes whether you are process-driven or emotion-driven. If you act only when motivated, repetition will exhaust you. If you act from structure, repetition will refine you. The undisciplined mind equates boredom with meaninglessness. But boredom is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that novelty has worn off. And when novelty disappears, only commitment remains. This is the quiet filter of life. Not intensity, consistency. Not inspiration, endurance. Repetition does not break you, it reveals you.
Boredom is not the enemy.
It is a mirror. When repetition strips away excitement, what remains is you. No adrenaline, no novelty, no external stimulation. Just the task. Again. Most people don't fail in chaos, they fail in calm. They can handle urgency, they can handle pressure, they cannot handle sameness. Because sameness does not reward the ego. It does not announce progress. It does not feel meaningful in the moment. So the mind starts searching for a shortcut, for a new method, for something more optimized. Not because the current path is flawed, but because it is boring. Boredom tests whether you are committed to results or addicted to stimulation. The undisciplined mind equates excitement with value. If it doesn't feel intense, it must not be working. If it doesn't feel new, it must not be growth. But mastery is rarely intense. It is repetitive refinement, small corrections, subtle improvements, quiet accumulation. The gym is boring. Studying is boring. Saving money is boring. Practicing fundamentals is boring. That is why most people never separate themselves. Not because they lack talent, because they lack tolerance. Tolerance for monotony, tolerance for slow returns, tolerance for invisible progress. Boredom exposes your relationship with effort. Do you need to feel inspired to continue? Or can you continue without feeling anything at all? The person who relies on motivation burns out. The person who relies on structure builds momentum. Structure does not care how you feel. It does not negotiate. It does not fluctuate with mood. It repeats. Boredom is the emotional friction between who you are and who you say you want to become. You say you want mastery, but mastery requires repetition. You say you want results, but results require endurance. And endurance is rarely exciting. Most people abandon repetition right before compounding begins, right before the skill sharpens, right before the identity shifts. Because the breakthrough is silent. There is no announcement. The test is simple. Can you continue when nothing feels dramatic? Can you repeat when no one is watching? Can you execute without needing emotional reward? Boredom is not an obstacle. It is the filter. And most people remove themselves before the separation happens. If this message resonates with you, like and subscribe for more content like this. This channel is built for people who are done waiting. Most people are in love with identity, not the process. They want to be fit, successful, disciplined, respected. They want the label. But the label is built by the process, and the process is repetitive. The ego fantasizes about the outcome. It imagines the transformation, the recognition, the visible shift. But it resists the ordinary days that make the transformation possible. It wants the staircase completed. It does not want to climb the same step again. Identity is attractive. Daily execution is not. Repetition forces a confrontation. Do you want to feel like the person or become the person? The disciplined individual does not wake up asking, "Do I feel motivated?" They wake up asking, "What must be done?" Process-driven thinking removes drama. There is no constant evaluation, no emotional negotiation, just repetition. Most people break because they overestimate inspiration and underestimate structure. They assume motivation will carry them. It doesn't. Motivation fades, mood shifts, energy fluctuates. Structure repeats. And when you repeat long enough, your identity shifts quietly. Not in a dramatic moment, in accumulated evidence. You did it again, and again, and again. The ego struggles here, because repetition offers no immediate validation. There is no applause for showing up, no announcement for consistency, just the silent record of effort. But that silent record becomes identity, not declared, demonstrated. You are not disciplined because you say you are. You are disciplined because the process has proof. The staircase does not care about your emotions. Each step is the same height. Each step requires the same motion. The only variable is whether you continue. Most people do not fail the process. They abandon it. They seek something new, something faster, something more stimulating. But novelty resets progress. Repetition compounds it. If you tie your identity to daily execution, repetition strengthens you. If you tie your identity to emotional intensity, repetition drains you. The separation is subtle. It does not look dramatic. It looks like ordinary days repeated without complaint. And that is where most people quietly step off the staircase. Repetition does not destroy the weak. It exposes them. In the beginning, Everyone is motivated, everyone is inspired, everyone believes they are committed. But repetition removes inspiration. It removes novelty, it removes emotional fuel, and what remains is endurance. Endurance is not dramatic, it is not loud, it does not feel heroic, it feels ordinary, predictable, unremarkable. And that is precisely why it separates people. Most want visible progress, clear milestones, external confirmation that effort is working. Repetition does not always provide that. It provides delayed results, compounded returns, invisible shifts that only become obvious over time. The mind that demands constant feedback cannot survive repetition, because repetition asks a different question: will you continue without immediate reward? This is where most people quietly exit, not in failure, not in collapse, in drift. They skip a day, then another. They convince themselves they will restart when they feel ready. But readiness rarely returns. Repetition is neutral. It does not judge you. It does not force you. It simply waits. And every day, it asks the same thing: will you do it again? There is no applause for consistency, no spotlight for discipline, no audience for the ordinary, just the private decision to execute. And that decision, repeated enough times, reshapes you. Not quickly, not visibly, but permanently. Endurance is the separation, not talent, not intelligence, not luck. Endurance. The ability to repeat when it is boring, to execute when it feels meaningless, to continue when no one is watching. Most people want transformation. Few accept repetition. Most want results. Few accept process. But repetition compounds quietly. Every correct action stacked on the previous one, every ordinary day layered on the last, until one day, what looked small is undeniable. You do not become exceptional through intensity. You become exceptional through sustained consistency. The highway is long, straight, unchanging, and that is the test. Will you stay on it when nothing feels dramatic? Will you continue when progress feels slow? Will you endure when excitement is gone? If you can repeat without emotional dependence, you cannot be filtered out. Because repetition does not break the disciplined, it builds them, quietly, relentlessly. If this clarified something for you, like the video. If you value discipline over stimulation, subscribe. The separation happens in silence. Stay on the road.